Welcome back to Clark's Ring Rants. Let's get straight into today's video. So there's been whispers for a while now and rumours are starting to gain a bit of momentum that Oleksandr Usyk will be signing with Zuffa and Dana White. Let's talk about it and discuss what that might mean for the heavyweight division. So myself, like a lot of other people, were sceptical about Zuffa's entrance into boxing and whether they'd be able to make a mark, whether they'd get off the ground, whether they'd be able to sign any good fighters. And they've done better than I thought so far, I've got to be honest. They've signed Jayapataya, the number one cruiserweight in the world. They've signed Conor Benn. Yeah, I know he's not a world champion or anything, but he's a name. He's going to put bums on seats. He's a ticket seller. He's a bit of a draw considering he's not achieved too much in the sport. And now they're starting to up it a notch. There's rumours that they're going to sign Oleksandr Usyk. Now that would be a statement signing and a half. Oleksandr Usyk, 3-time undisputed, current unified heavyweight world champion, and he could be heading over to Zuffa. I've done countless videos by this stage talking about Usyk, who he should fight next, who he shouldn't fight next, what obligations he's got to fill as a champion, where he's at in his career, and what his goals are for the remaining couple of fights of his career, because he's 39 now, he's getting on, he's no spring chicken. I know he says he wants to fight on until 41, but we'll see. If he fights on for too long, he's going to get beat, and he's probably going to get beaten by somebody he wouldn't have got beaten by in his prime. So Oleksandr Usyk now, I think for him, he's just trying to cash out as much money as he can for as little work. He's made it clear he don't really want to fight Fabio Wardley. He doesn't really want to fight Moses Ituama. He doesn't really want to fight Agit Kabayel. He'd prefer a rematch with Fury, even though he's beaten him convincingly twice. So I think it's fair to say at this stage, despite everything he's achieved and what a great champion he's been so far, he's purely motivated by money at this stage, Oleksandr Usyk. So given the current landscape of the heavyweight division and boxing in general, I'm going to put forward my theory based on everything that's happened in the last few weeks as to why Oleksandr Usyk to Zuffa could actually make sense, whether we like it or not. I'm not saying it's the right thing to do, but listen to my argument. So we all know Oleksandr Usyk dropped the WBO belt because he didn't really want to fight Fabio Wardley. His WBC mandatory, Agit Kabayel, has finally been called after what seems like an eternity. The IBF are going to be queuing up. We know there's a final eliminator there with Frank Sanchez and Richard Torres. And you can bet your bottom dollar that the WBA are going to stick their foot in it soon and put a mandatory there. So for Oleksandr Usyk at this stage, he's probably weighing it up. He thinks, I can't be bothered fighting these guys. I'm not motivated. I've already beat the best of the best. What is there left for me to do? I may as well try and make as much money as I can. And that's where Zuffa come in, because they have got a bottomless pit of money. They're going to be able to outbid, outpay. They've got too much money for the likes of Eddie Hearn, Frank Warren, even Ben Shalom, Bob Arum, PBC. They've got too much money for those guys to compete with. So what I think is going to happen is they're going to shove a ridiculous amount of money in Oleksandr Usyk's face. They're going to say, we want you over here now. You're going to fight. You're going to be the inaugural Zuffa heavyweight world champion. And what that's going to do, if they get Oleksandr Usyk on board, that is going to give it some credibility. Whether it's right, like I say, or whether it's wrong, it's going to give him credibility, because their spin is going to be, and people are going to say, hey, listen, Usyk, he was the number one heavyweight. He was undisputed. Then he was unified. He had the Ring magazine. He beat the man who beat the man. He's the best heavyweight in the world. Forget the belts, scrap the belts. So yes, that supports Dana's argument and what he wants to bring to the sport. He's going to have the Zuffa belt, and he's the best heavyweight in the world. So that is going to give it some credibility at last. And once they've got him on board, if what I think is going to happen does happen, I think the floodgates are going to open. And Eddie Hearn, Frank Warren, Bob Arum, if he's even still promoting, is about 900 years old. Al Heyman, Golden Boy, Oscar De La Hoya, they could all be in trouble. And I'm going to do a separate video on what I think they need to do going forward, because it's going to be strength in numbers, because they can't fight Turkey, Dana White, Seller, Zuffa on their own. They're going to need to put together and come up with a plan. But anyway, what I'm saying is, Usyk over to Zuffa. It's going to give the belt some credibility. They're not going to force him to fight anyone he does not want to fight. If you want to fight Tyson Fury in a trilogy fight, go for it. Be my guest. You want to fight Andy Ruiz in a bit of a soft touch? Be my guest. F.A. Jagva, knock yourself out. They might even make a super fight down the line against Jayapataya. But I think that's a real possibility. we could see Oleksandr Usyk on Zuffa to give it some legitimacy. They're going to pay whatever it takes because they mean business. They've proved it now. They've signed some big names, but this would be the first A-lister. And don't be surprised if they do sign Oleksandr Usyk, Fury gets the trilogy fight over on Zuffa. But those are just my thoughts. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe if you're not already subscribed. There's a lot of you watching these videos, you're not subscribed. Turn on the bell so you get notifications for every upload, and just give me your opinions in the comments below. Thanks for watching, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.